Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel. Today I'm here for not an unboxing but to show you a pen that I got from the flea market today here in Lisbon. So today was a very rainy day. They were disassembling all the market because it was very rainy and windy, and there were very few people selling stuff, and I saw one of the few persons that were there with like a big bowl full of pens, mostly only parts or pens without nibs and such. And I looked through them and I saw this one and I decided to bring it home. So what is this? When you look at it, it looks like a Pelikan pen, and I thought, okay, I will take that one. It looks okay, so I will take it and then we will see. And it was only €5. So I got the pen. When I looked at it for the first time, I thought it was one of these kind of pens. You can find them quite easily on the flea market. Sometimes like an arrow pen or a reform, or this one is I can't spell this, Eberhard Faber-Castell, or this one which I don't know what it is, Elka. There are lots of these kind of piston filling pens, all very similar to each other with only some variations. Or it could even be something like this, which is more unlikely to find at Lisbon's flea market. Let me just put a little bit more light here, which is this Caveco Cadet, or maybe even these little Mont Blanc. But we can say that they're all pens of the same kind, and I thought it could be that one. I bought it because of the price, because I thought, okay, that's something fun to make a video, and that's okay. Then when I was walking home, I looked at it and saw, okay, the clip really looks like a Pelikan, and I looked at the top of the cap, and there was, first, this is a pen, it's a burgundy pen. It's not kind of my favorite color, but actually it is my least favorite color of pens. But there is no logo engraved on top of the cap, and I thought, that's kind of strange. And there is a strange, unusual engraving here at the bottom near the piston knob. But there is an ink window, there are some dry residues inside, and the piston moves. It says extra fine, but then we look at the nib and it is a fine nib, not an extra fine. So, okay, I thought it's a Pelikan pen, fun. It looks like a Pelikan 120, and I have here the 120, and you can see the 120 has the, can you focus please? Here you have the logo on the top of the cap. It's a very similar pen, and I thought it was the same, but I don't really know that much about it. Okay, so when I arrived home, let me pick up the book without hitting everything on the way. I went for the Fountain Pens of the World, which is a book that sometimes I find interesting because it has some interesting and useful information. And here it is, the pen. And when I look at it, yes, it is it. So it is the burgundy Pelikan 140, which is very similar to the 120, but with a few different characteristics. I will not talk oops, sorry about that, I hit the tripod. I'm not going to talk about many of the characteristics compared with the 120, maybe I'll talk about it someday. So this is the 140, this is the 120, and just for some comparison, if you're not that much into vintage Pelikan pens, I will show you the Pelikan M200, which is quite well known, and it is almost the same size, but this has more kind of a flat bottom and top instead of those rounded ones. This is the anthracite. I'm not sure how it's called. I think it's transparent anthracite, and it was a special edition from many years ago. And I have here also, for more comparison, the Pelikan M800. This is the kind of the regular with the striped green. This is currently available. I'll leave links below, but you can see this is the, and you have the size comparison. This is a big modern pen, this is a small vintage pen, and you can see the size comparison of the nibs. Okay, so I think now you get the idea. If you didn't know already this pen, and I just want to talk to you about it in some general aspects, which I think they are fun. So this was €5. I thought it was good. I didn't even argue the price, which is something that you usually should do at the flea market, but I thought, okay, it's fun, it's for the channel, and I will make, maybe it was a Senator or a Reform pen, and I'll make a video. It's worth it, but it really is a Pelikan. It says extra fine, but the nib is engraved fine, but we'll talk about that. And so this is the pen, the Burgundy 140. Now, I wanted to find when it was made. So there is a very good website for Pelikan collectors, which is the pelikancollectibles.com, and I went there and searched for it. And what I could find is that this pen was made from 1952 to 1955. So only 3 years run of this color. I didn't even know there was a Pelikan of this color, and I always expected if there was a Pelikan in this color, it would have black, like a black top there and a black bottom, so I didn't expect to see this. So it is a Burgundy pen, only made for 3 years between 1952 and 1955. And then I started watching these and saw some pictures online, and this website gave me some interesting information. So let's see just some to frame the dates when it could be made. I will use those informations on the website just to show you some characteristics of the pen. First, until 1953, the cap ring was without inscription, and in fact it has no inscription except something like a cross or a plus sign that is somewhere, I cannot see it, there, very small thing. So no cap inscription. Later they had Pelikan 140 Germany. So this is clearly until 1953. Then in 1954 the cap clip went narrower. So you can see it's the case of, because the pens are basically the same, the 120 and the 140. You can see that this clip is narrow and this is wider. So it means this one is before 1954. Also, until 1954, there was no logo on the cap. You can see the logo on the 120 and you cannot see on this one. So this is something that when I was walking home I found strange, that there was no logo. So you can see it's because it was made probably between 1952 and 1953, because after 1954 there was the logo. Also, until 1954 again, there was an engraving on the bottom of the barrel, and let me show you the engraving. So this engraving shows, I'm not sure if you can see, on the top line it says export. In the bottom line it says Gunther Wagner Pelikan, and then Germany, I think. No, Gunther Wagner yes, Gunther Wagner Pelikan. I think I'm seeing it correctly. So this means it is before 1954 again. And also there was a nib size engraving until after 1954 there was a nib, the nib size was engraved there. Let me just check if this Kaweco has that kind of feature, just to show you. No, this one doesn't, but some older Kaweco had. So it's not the same thing, but you can see this Kaweco has the nib size there, which is an oblique fine. And after 1954, the Pelikan pen, the Pelikan 140 should have that engraving there. By the way, let me see the 120. I don't think it has. At least I never noticed it. Okay, it doesn't. So it's that. It has a sticker there. And also the nib design went a little bit fancier since 1954. So this means that this pen is from 1952 or 1953. So we have 2 years for the pen. I don't know much more about it. Here, I'm not sure if you can see, it says Pelikan, and then it says 585 and then 14 karat, and then the F below, although it says there extra fine, and then it has this kind of interesting feed. The nib is very, very dirty. Ink window is dirty. There are some kind of dry residues there, and I saw that the piston moved, and so I was thinking, why not trying to fill it, if I can, with ink today. Yes, without cleaning the pen. That's something that sometimes I do. Okay, I will use some vintage Parker pen. Why? Because vintage Parker pen, I find it quite good for vintage pens. It's safe, and I also find, let me turn the knob, I think it will work. You can see it's working. Now let's see if it will draw ink. I didn't try it with water. That's what you usually should do. You try to flush the pen, clean it before, but I don't want to do that. I really don't care. I just want to fill it. I will use the Parker Ink because I find it's very useful to dissolve some of the dry ink inside, and then after writing it with this kind of ink, it is usually, that's my experience, it's usually easier to clean the pen. So let me try. The ink level is quite low. Okay, let me do it this way to have it more inclined. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's actually not much to be seen here. Let me now do this. I'll do it just once. Let's see if it fills. Whoa, I think I have a pretty big fill. Let's see if there are no leaking of the ink. Let me put the ink aside. Let's clean it with some toilet paper. The nib is now black, full of ink. And now my hands are dirty also. So everything That makes sense when we are talking about fountain pens. Okay, the nib is already cleaner. And now let's see how this pen works. I think I will put the cap. I will post the cap because I think it's easier. And let's just see how it writes. I was last month at Pelikan Hubs here in Lisbon, and they gave us this little notebook, and I thought it would be nice to write with it. It could also be nice to use Pelikan ink, but I didn't want to because these years Pelikan Edelstein ink, I don't remember the name of it, but it is how can I say it? It is shimmering ink. So let me just maybe turn the exposure down a little bit so the paper is not making you blind. And let's just I will also lower the tripod. And let's see how this pen behaves on paper. So this is, it skipped. The Pelikan 140 in burgundy. This paper is quite like satin. It's very nice for fountain pens, but it can also be a little slippery. But I think the pen behaves quite okay. So this is it skips a little bit on the first stroke, I think, 1952 or 1953. Now let me see if I can show you the nib better, because it is cleaner because of the ink. And so I think this nib is interesting. When I bought it and I was coming home, I was trying it in my fingernail to see if it would spread the tines. And so this is a fine gold nib. And is it flex? I think it is a little bit. So it's very fun to have a pen like that. I usually don't find this that interesting because I'm not very good in my calligraphy, as you can see there. But this is the kind of nib that is quite stiff. So this is stiff. I can write without pressure and almost without line variation, as you can see. So it allows for normal writing, but if I wanted to do something else, and I don't know how to do this properly, you can see you can make a lot of line variation from these to these. This is really amazing. I think you can see that the ink is pulled there on the paper. Look at that. It's kind of a beauty. I don't find that that amazing for myself, but I know many people like it, and it's fun to see. I'm not sure if it is a everyday pen for someone like me, but this is really amazing. And also the color is a nice burgundy color, but I'm not a fan of burgundy, so we'll see. I'm not sure if I will keep this pen. I saw it online after I identified it, and I saw that this pen can be sold for 100 or 200 euros, and maybe it can help me fund some other pen that I like more. I'm not sure. So this was an interesting find, very kind of unusual, because most times here in the Lisbon's Flea Market you don't just find very bad stuff. Although I already found some interesting stuff, but after many times going there and knowing where to look for it, and this time I think I got something quite good €5 and I got a gold nib pen. I think only the nib is much more than that, and as I understood, this burgundy color is not that common, so it's interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this video, kind of a very long, some people will be annoyed, I know, it's just a very long video just showing that a pen that I got today, kind of an unboxing without the box, but I just wanted to show it to you and talk a little bit about it. Now, the pen, I think it is very, very full, and I just did it once, as you saw. I didn't went with the piston down, up and down and up and down, so it's quite full. It will last me for a while, and I will be writing with it for some time. You can see, even with no pressure, it's kind of wet. So I will use it for the next days or next weeks, and then I will talk about it. I will make a detailed review about it, and maybe I will let you know what I will do with it, if I'll keep it or if I will sell it. So far I'm quite happy. It needs to be cleaned, of course. I will do it. I'll take that sticker with the price. Maybe I'll take that sticker, I'm not sure, because that doesn't even match the number of the nib, and that's it. I'll make a review soon with a nicer and cleaner pen. So see you next time. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.